All right.
All right. Good evening. How is everyone this week? Okay.
Good, Mary. Thank you.
That's good to hear. So tonight we're going to do embedding and linking Excel into Word. And this process also works for PowerPoint. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about tracking, but we're also going to learn how to make labels using Excel too. So with that, starting out with embedding and linking, there is a difference between the two of them. We have two methods we're going to talk about tonight, but there are more methods. I figured we just keep it kind of simple and just go through two different methods. The difference between when you embed something, we're going to embed a table into a Word document. Embedding means that the table is now placed into the Word document, where when you link something, you can change the original data source and that will automatically change in the Word document. So basically, it depends on what you're doing and what method you would prefer. If you're creating a Word document that you want to put an Excel data table into it, and that information is kind of finalized, it's not going to change, then the embedding is probably the simplest way to do it because it's quick and easy. And so with that, I'm going to start by sharing and bringing up an Excel spreadsheet to look at. And first I need to open up my files. Stacy?
Yeah,
Do you have me authorized to share?
I do. I made you co-host. Is it not working?
No, my file's not showing up.
Yeah.
Ah, there it is.
Good.
Okay, and Shirley, you asked if embedding's in the workbook. It may be. After this class, I'm going to send a document to Stacy to send out to everybody, and this will have the step-by-step instructions. I kind of gave up on those manuals because I think they are a little bit more complicated and confusing, at least for me, and it's much simpler. I think you'll see what I've done and you'll say, yeah, this is pretty simple. Okay, so here is an Excel spreadsheet. I put this together based on one that we were working on last week, and I've changed it, modified it a little bit, and so we have totals in there. If I want to embed this into a Word document, I'm going to take and highlight the file and use Control-C. Then, and again, I think I have to share this new document with you to get this up here. So now I've opened up a Word document, and I'm going to move it down, the cursor down a little bit. And you want to, wherever you want to put the material into your Word document, you want to place your cursor there. If I was writing something, a narrative that went along with this, I might have a paragraph before it and one after it. So it's just like you would insert an object. I hit Control V and it sits there. And notice though, you may have to adjust it some. I spread it out a little bit like you would any object, and you can move it around and fit it on your page. And actually, I'm going to change the
You're on mute.
Thank you. There. Are we back to the Word document and you see the table?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that's quick and easy. And I think many of you who are in the Word program, we learned how to do this. You're just inserting this object into the document. Very, very simple. Now, linking is more, I guess, fun and fascinating. So I'm going to cut this, going to go back to this document, and it's still highlighted. Well, I'm going to make it highlighted again. And again, you're still using the Control-C operation on this. Then when you go to your Word document, you want to go to Home and under Paste, select Paste Special. Here, under this screen here, you want to paste the link. You want to click on the radio button here that says Paste Link and select Worksheet and hit OK. Now that is the worksheet that we were just looking at in Excel. We can attest to it by looking at it. And again, you can move it to wherever you want it, and you can make it bigger too. But what is nice about this, I'm going to save the document right now. And I'm just going to save it to my desktop and save it as practice document. Okay, so I've saved it. Now I'm going to close out of it because I don't want you to see it right now, but I want you to look at the fourth quarter. We have the number 168 there under Pacific, the top line. I'm going to close out and go back to the Excel spreadsheet.
We got it.
Okay, so it's right here. Same document that we originally were using. And I'm going to go up to the 168. I'm going to change that number to 188. All right, so the 188 changed. The total changed here, and the total also changed down here. These numbers changed. You all see that?
Mm-hmm.
And you agree. Now I'm going to go back to that Word document and bring that back up. And You can't see right
Do you
now.
have to save the Excel first or not?
No, you do not.
Okay.
You folks cannot see my Word document yet, can you?
No.
Okay. I'm hoping, all right, you can see it now, right?
Yes.
All right. It hasn't opened yet because as I am opening it, up pops the message. This document links that may refer to other files. Do you want to update this document with the data from the link file? I'm going to select yes. And when I selected yes, it stopped sharing, right?
Yep.
Today I was doing a WebEx with students, and in WebEx you can share. I had Word open and PowerPoint, and I could go back and forth from each one of them.
Oh, nice.
Now we got the document back up there. Notice the fourth quarter. It says 188. The total changes. Everything that changed in the original source document is now changed in this document. Pretty nice feature, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. And that was pretty simple, isn't
that
it?
the recommended way to do it?
What?
Is that the recommended way to do it?
Yes. And it's very simple to do. I do have it typed out so that you step by step for you. And there's only 8 steps to it. So that's.
Do you have some ideas as to when that might come in handy?
If you are, what that would come in handy, let's say that you're doing a monthly report with numbers that are constantly changing at the end of the month, you might want to use it there. As you go forward, I could see that, or if numbers that needed to be adjusted at times, it pops to mind the unemployment or the jobs number that the government does. They'll give out a report, but then about 2 weeks later, they've updated it and it's a new report. Something like that, you might want to have, use it. So if, you have something that's ongoing, it can be beneficial to have it linked like this, have a link like that, instead of the copy and paste, which is what is called embedding. Any questions, and do you want to see me walk through that again?
It'd be really good for if you're keeping statistics too.
Yes. And believe me, when you see the one page, I have both items on one page typed up for you so that you could have those instructions handy. And there are other ways to do it, but I figured I'd like to keep it simple, and 2 ways is enough. If you get online and you look at different YouTube videos or other videos out there, people will show you several different ways. I thought this was the easiest and cleanest way to explain it to you, and I think it looks pretty easy. Any questions? Anybody? Do you need to see it again?
Nope.
Nope. Gary, can you think of a way that you would use it?
Not, when I was working maybe, but not now. I mean, it's nice when you've got, I guess, all the detailed data someplace else, and you need to do a PowerPoint presentation and every month or something, and it just, this is a summary of the data, and as you change things, it's always there. Or if you're publishing a report somewhere, is that people can go and pull up anytime, that it automatically updates from where the background data sits somewhere else. I think that's, I think it has its place. I just don't, in just normal household, using Excel with your own finances, and it's not like I'm presenting that, hey wife, you want to go look at my new funny fancy spreadsheet here?
She'd be thrilled.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh,
I have
okay.
a question.
Yes.
If you embed this chart into a Word file, how do you know what Excel file it's connected to?
If you embed it, you don't know.
Okay, this thing that we see right here, it's what? Linked?
It's linked.
Okay, how do you know what it's linked to?
Because when you went to linked it, you selected the file you wanted it linked to. You went to
Yes. Next year, when I want to go back and change something for this, how do I know where to change it?
your original source data.
Yes.
So when this Word document that you have here, you would want to label it. The original source document that I had for Excel was regional sales. And this is for 2019. So the Word document, I would want to match the Word title. The simplest way would probably be to match it to the Excel file by naming it Word ABC regional sales for 2019.
Is there, if you click on it, Mary, is there anything in there that tells you what it's linked to?
If you click on the link, file.
There says links. I just wonder if there's something that might tell you.
Might tell you right. Yep.
There it is, source file.
Yep.
So show us how you did that again, so then Lisa can see how that was done.
Okay, Lisa, I have that file highlighted. See how I got the 4 squares? I'm using the right side of the mouse to bring this up and going to link. Oops. Nope. Paste option. Oh, there we are. Linked.
That's it, yeah. Link worksheet object links.
Yep.
And there it is. See the name source file there, Lisa?
Sure.
That's the regions file is the one the data came from.
So I can have a Word file that has several
Yes, you could.
Excel spreadsheets in it, and it has nothing. I don't have to name all those Excel spreadsheets. I can just do this.
This is how you'd find the source for each one of them. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yep. Particularly when you're doing stuff and you're coming back to it months later and you can't remember which file, Excel file did I get that data out of?
Yep. And notice down here, you can even lock it too, so that you, if you were sharing it with somebody else and you didn't want them to change things on you, which, unfortunately that does happen in reality when you're working with human beings, that sometimes somebody will come behind you and change something that you didn't want change. So that this is an option that you can do. And notice too, it also has automatic updates, and you can also select manual updates. The automatic is what I went for because that's what I wanted to really show you, that how convenient it can be for you to use that. So I'm canceling out of that. And I'm going to go back to the Excel spreadsheet, and you folks probably can't see it, can you?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right, the next thing that we're going to spend just a little bit of time on this in the review. And this is, I just want to talk about this because I think it gets into an area that is a little bit more complex and that we would really need more time, and everybody's probably in a different spot with this as far as using OneDrive or Google Docs, with all those programs where you can save to the cloud. You can share your workbooks with other people so that they can come in and edit. And that is really something up to you as an individual, how you're going to be using it. I just want to touch base on it just so that you know that it's out there, depending on the capacity that you're using it, whether or not you're sharing it with other people. I'm personally, when I think about this, and it goes back to what Gary says, when you're an individual and you're just using it for your home use, I'm not sharing my workbooks with the rest of the world. It's going to be on my computer, and it's about as far as it's going to go. Through my work, we have a shared drive, which is a hard drive that we, on our network, that we share things that we can go in and get it. The shared workbook for the cloud is a little bit more complicated. And to be honest with you, I don't use it very often. I do have one that I share with my boss that's Google Docs, that we put Excel files for different classes of Excel that we teach, that we share some files with. Just, it's there, and you can do this through the shared workbook. We normally just save the shared documents to the Google Drive. And if you have to create your own account in Google and have a file on the cloud in Google, you get a little account yourself, and then you invite other people to share that document, and then they also have to have a Google account, and they sign in through Google, and they have permission. An email is generated to that person that gives them permission to use that Google document, and then that person goes in with their Google account. They have to sign in with their Google, and then they have access to that specific file itself. I'm not a big Google person. I've been using the same Yahoo account since 1995, and I don't plan on changing. But I do have a Google account, and I only ever use it when I share documents, but I rarely do it. And one of my biggest issues is, well, I've gotten it down now, but remembering my Google email account password to get into it. Fortunately, I've been smart enough to write it down, and I have saved it now and got it memorized. But 6 months ago, somebody would want me to log into Google and share their document with them and whatnot. I would just kind of roll my eyes. It's like, oh yes, another avenue that I have to go down. I personally, in this stage of the game in life, I like keeping it simple. And if it's on my computer, that's where I'm going to use it. Okay, so with me preaching to you about my feelings. I apologize if I got off on a tangent there about shared things, but I'm not a big fan of it, not for the purpose that we're doing. So next, we're going to talk about Excel and spread and creating labels from Excel. For anybody that, and Shirley, you came to mind when I thought about this. You do fundraisers, so you probably have a set of people that are members to your organization or donate money. And you can keep track of their donations in a spreadsheet, and you could separate them. Sometimes people, when they donate money, will have different categories for people who give over 100 and people who give $50 and such. And so you could see where using Excel, you could sort people by the amount they've given, and then you could specify different letters or different mailings to these people, and it can come in handy. So with that, the next thing that I'm going to do is show you the file that I have for addresses. And pop this up here. Okay, so this is a simple Excel spreadsheet. And notice that in the first row, I have first name, last name, and actually, yeah, the first row, first name, last name, address, city, state, zip code. I have this little spreadsheet, and I could keep on adding to it, but this is names and addresses, just a little spreadsheet with those type of names and addresses in it. So this is the review, my source document, and I can add to this and change it throughout. Now, what I want to do is create mailing addresses. So we have that, but I'm going to use Word to do that. And I'm going to bring up a new Word document. And share this Word document with you. And under mailings, well, here under mailings, you're going to go to Start Mail Merge and click that on and select labels. Now I'm going to select labels, but if you are doing this on your own and you don't remember how to do it, notice they have a step-by-step mail merge wizard down here. I'm just going to do it through my step-by-step instructions. I'm going to send, when I send this document to you, it's got the note in there that you could use this too. But I'm going to just select labels and then select the type of labels. And I chose 30 labels per page. They fit nicely on number 10 envelopes. I'm going to hit OK. Then the next area that you go to is you select under mailings. You want to select recipients. I click this on and choose use an existing list. I open that up and I'm going back to Excel and that address list. Open that up. You guys see anything on the page right now on the screen? Did you see the box that says select table?
We see
Yes.
about, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, the first down here, it has first row of data contains column headers, which that document does contain the headers. We're going to say OK to that. All right, now our sheet just looks like the first one is blank, and then all the other places where a label would be, it says next record. All right. Here we go back to mailings and insert merge field. It's going to be right on the first empty little square, if you could, or rectangle. I'm going to put first name, then I'm going to hit the space bar. Yeah, I'm going to hit close actually, because I hit last name. Address. Enter. Okay, so I've put in address, city, state, and zip. And that's not how I want it laid out on the label. I want to put my cursor in there by city and hit enter and put a little space between state and also the zip. So I have it how it's going to lay out on the label. The next step is to go back to mailings and finish and so actually I'm going to select preview results. And when I preview results, you're only going to see one person's name there. And that's how it's going to look on
On a
the label.
space between their first and last name.
Okay. I would have to go back to mailings, go right here again. And I'm not going to, well, I could do it like that, but I don't think that'll cover everybody though. That's just that one. All right, so that's what it looks like. I'm going to update labels, and that's going to give me everybody that is, and actually it did take care of that space there. It's going to give me everybody that is in that database or in that Excel spreadsheet. And then I can print directly from this file here. I can also save this file so that if I needed to use it later, I have those labels pre-made for those folks. You can do this if you keep adding to the workbook, you're going to have to update, create a new file because you have new names. You can also, under mailings, you can actually select how many of the records that you want in there. If you go to edit individual documents, I think it's here. If I just wanted number 5 through number 8, it will take away people. And it can come in very handy for anybody. Surely I thought of you in mind, and Stacy with a library too. You can see how you can do that.
For fundraising mailings, it's a good idea. And then if you have, for anybody, if you pay the same bills every month through the mail, if anybody does that anymore, you could set this up and save yourself time.
Yeah, if you do Christmas cards and you use labels, anything like that, it can save you a lot of time, and you always have the mailing list. It's up to you how you want to use it. And again, I wrote out the instructions so that you have them, and I'm going to send you this address file to work with, and that's what you need. You need to practice doing it to get used to it. Does anybody have any questions about that? Lisa, do you see yourself ever using that?
Yeah, dress list for Christmas cards for sure.
You can make your own address labels too.
Sure.
Yeah, if you have your own return address labels.
Yeah.
Do that.
Very simple. Do you need me to walk you through that again, or
No.
you guys feel comfortable? All right. Then that leads me to tonight's tips. Okay, so I wanted to share with you, and again, I have to go back to an Excel spreadsheet. All right. See these little bullets right here?
Yep.
Okay. Very simple way to insert bullets. If I did Alt and number 7 on the keyboard, that gives me that solid bullet. Alt and number 9 gives me the circular ones. So if you wanted to insert those bullets, let's say Mr. Cruz here, I needed to add that to, nope, it doesn't do that. I guess you would have, if you're bulleting a cell, you wanted that in there. Needed to bullet the number. You have to put the bullet in first, then you can add in the remainder of it. So there's 2 quick little shortcuts that you can take away and use. Another one too, and this might be a little bit more difficult to show you because we cannot if you have Excel and Word open up on your computer, if you want to toggle between the different items that you have open across your desktop down at the bottom, like I have Excel open, I have Word open, and I think I have Outlook open. And I don't think you can see my Outlook.
No.
No. Okay. This tool or little tip here, if you do Alt and the Tab key, it will highlight and go through what you have open across the bottom. So if you're toggling through, let's say you're using Word, you're using Excel, and you want to go from one document to the other, instead of moving your cursor down and opening up the other document, if you hit Control, Alt and Tab at the same time, it puts up little icons for each one of those, a little miniature version of what you're seeing across the what items you have open, so you can toggle between the ones you have open and move through them really fast. That's a kind of a quick way. And also this Control Tab, if you have more than one worksheet open, workbook open in Excel, that will move you from one workbook to the next workbook. So this, again, I have that written out. And I also have, and I think one of the other files would be better to view. Okay, so now you're looking at the sales report again, Excel spreadsheet, correct?
Yep.
No?
Yes.
Okay. This is a way to make a quick copy of a workbook. You select, worksheet. You select the worksheet tab, which you want to make a copy of. So it's this down here, the sales report. You press and hold the control key, which I'm doing, and then click on the worksheet tab for which you want to create. Notice this little arrow. You see I have a, can you see a little,
Yep.
the cursor? Okay. If I come over here, oh, that moved it, not. I got that plus sign finally. With the plus sign, while holding the control key and the left button of the mouse, drag the plus sign over and click. There I go. Wasn't as simple as it worked for me earlier. So what I did was the control key and the I pressed and held the control key, created the plus sign, then while holding the control key and the left button of the mouse, I dragged over and inserted the sales report. And so this is the same document that is over here. If I move it back up to the top, you can see that it's the same document as in this one here. Now, how could you use this and make it useful for you? If you are keeping, if I had to do this sales report every year, each and every year, and I wanted to just keep the format the same, instead of retyping everything, I would come down, copy 2019, put it there just by using the keyboard, and then go through and edit and put in the numbers for 2020. Actually, I would probably white all those out so that I could start fresh. Take those, wipe them out, change this up here to 2020. And I'm ready to go for the new year, sticking the information in as they come in.
The formulas are still there, I assume.
What?
The formulas are still there?
No, because I deleted them. I deleted everything that was in the cells. If I go back here and only delete, I think.
If you only delete the different values for
Yeah.
Pacific through Southeast, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
leave the other stuff, you'll keep your
before 8 through E48.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
don't delete the yellow area.
Or
Correct.
the last column either.
Yeah.
then you
Or the
can,
last column, right?
yeah. And it should zero everything else out.
Mhm.
Yes. I highlighted that. So everything that's highlighted,
That's your formulas.
Yep.
yep, that's your formulas.
So if you try it, if you just delete the stuff in the white,
Except for the names of the regions.
yeah, except for the names of the regions, then all your yellow areas should turn up zeros
Right.
and keep your formulas.
You could do clear data or something like that, clear contents.
And I go back over here, but the data, notice the formula is still there?
Yep.
Okay. And that would work.
Got it.
And that way you can repeat. If it's the same spreadsheet, you're doing the same information year by year,
Yep.
you could create this and move it forward.
Yeah, I do that with keeping track of some stuff I sell on eBay. Every year I do a totals of how many items sold, average price, et cetera, and I just repeat the same spreadsheet each year. And actually they're workbooks. Each year is a workbook, like you kind of have down below. I have my eBay sales 2017, 18, 19, 20. And then every year I just white out the data, but keep all the formulas.
Yep.
Yep.
And do you use this method or do you use cut and paste?
I didn't use that. Yeah, I would actually right click on the worksheet and there's a list of things that come up when
Yeah.
you right click on it and do copy or move worksheet as opposed to the shortcut you showed. So I'll try the shortcut now.
Yeah. It's all going to end up being what your preference is and what you're comfortable with. You learn as you go, and the more you practice something and the more comfortable you become with it, especially shortcuts, the more you're apt to use them. We've said this all along. There's always more than one way to do something. And I'm going to say there's no better way than what you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with one way, that's great. Because the next person can come behind you and say, oh, why don't you do it this way? It's a little easier. I always kind of think that what you're comfortable with is what's best for you. Now, the last thing that I want to show you that I did not know existed until today, and I guess is something Excel started in 2019, for 2016. And it's also in the 2019 version of Excel and in Excel 365. You notice on my screen, there's a little camera up here. Up on top of the ribbon.
Yep.
Okay. Did you know that Excel has a little camera in it?
I did.
Anybody?
Nope.
No, it's a new feature that they started 3 years ago. And to get that, if you hit File and you go down to Options, and under Options, you see the Quick Access toolbar. You click that on. Here is popular commands. And these are the things that you see that your people are used to using. Many of them very familiar to you. You see them all the time. But if you go into commands not on the ribbon, it gives you more commands that you do not see that are in there. And if you come down here, you see the camera. You click that on and you move it over to add. And that's what I did to get that camera there. Also, there's calculator that you can add to your ribbon. And these are all items here that you can add to your ribbon if you wanted to use them. Notice you have a diagonal down border, you have a diagonal up border. There's a lot of things in here that you probably have never knew that they were there. The same goes to, just so you know, I went and checked this out too. You also have these items, the same process is in Word too. Word does not have a camera though. And
So what does the camera actually do? Does it take a screenshot?
yes,
Uh,
so and that's what it does. It doesn't, and it actually doesn't take a screenshot of the whole screen. Let's say that cell right there, the fourth quarter for Northwest, if you wanted to screenshot there, and then you could place it into another place
We can't
in
see
your
what you're-
document,
we can't see you doing anything.
because I'm not sharing again, right?
I guess. We see the table you started with, but nothing's happening.
You didn't see this happening?
No.
Your mouse isn't moving for us.
Yeah.
Screen sharing is paused. I'm going to stop sharing again and come back to it because it gave me a message that it was paused. Okay, there it is. It's
Yep.
back. This right here was a screenshot from over here, from that area there. I'm going to take another one, hit camera, and place it over here. So if you want, we're doing something that you wanted to highlight these numbers and make some kind of comment and highlight them off to the side, you can do that using the camera feature. So you see the camera up there? Notice I added the calculator,
Mhm.
and that is now, can you see it?
Yeah.
The calculator?
We can just see the icon, but we don't see
It didn't come up because it's probably not being shared. Probably
Well,
separate share item.
It came up on my screen, and I
We
have
believe you.
there's a big fat calculator sitting in front of me in case I needed that while I was doing something in Excel. And that might be because you're taking different receipts and adding them up together to create a total of some kind so that you can put into your worksheet. Let's say you had, and you're going to use Gary's example there, talking about eBay sales. He had 5 sales on May 5th, and he added up the total. He could have the calculator feature up there, do that, and then stick the amount into the cell that goes along with May 5th or the month of May. And the calculator, you can have a couple different versions of it too. So I eliminated that, and it is no longer there on my screen. But you can see how easy it is to add things to your ribbon if you need them. Again, I'm going to go back to that and let you look a little bit. So I went to options, under file, go to options, then quick access bar. Here, select on commands not in the ribbon. And then you can see all the different commands that you could add if you wanted to. And, you know, I think the more you use Excel, the more you could find use for some of these commands. But again, it all depends on how you plan on using Excel. All right. Now that was pretty quick and easy. And I'm going back to, okay. As simple as that sounds, we just went through 2 chapters in the manual. And I think, again, I kind of, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I think I can lay it out simpler in the instructions than trying to go through the manual. And what I'm going to do is pass on to Stacy the instructions that for the embedding and linking and for the label making, and also those tips from tonight. Along with the file on the region sales and the address files. You, as students, you have some things to practice with. And then take those practice items and see how you can use them for yourself in your own work and what you do. Okay, does anybody have any questions?
Is there anything you were hoping to learn about Excel that maybe you want to ask about now before we end, to see if you might know?
Can we go over some homework?
Yeah, definitely.
Find the page. Okay. The homework on page 13. The third item to do says using the go-to feature. What is the go-to feature? Move to the area named yearly totals. Okay,
Okay.
I stopped right there because I didn't understand it.
Well, I did it, and I'm trying to remember what I did. The area name yearly totals. So maybe we need to open up the 5-year plan, since that's where it says to do it.
Yes.
Hang on a minute and I'll save that.
So it's where you press the F5 key, press Control plus G, and then on the home ribbon under Find and Select, choose Go To. I just Googled it because I didn't know what it was either. It's a different way to select cells. And it only works if you have Excel 2016.
All right, you guys can't see my screen, can you? Because I'm not sharing it yet.
Nope. Not yet.
All right.
You gonna say something, Nicole?
Where am I?
No, okay.
Right here. All right. Now you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. Under home, the go-to feature
Sorry.
is,
Goes my cuckoo.
see where it says find and select? There's your go-to feature right there. And see how they have Control G is also a shortcut for it. So then you can put in the reference that you need to go to, hit OK, and it will take you there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Was there another question?
No, I think
Probably
I got
not
the
if you
other
got
parts.
that far. Sorry about that.
I
Lisa,
think
can
I
you
got the other parts.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I'm okay.
Oh, you're okay. All right. And you got to get used to using it. And the more you play with it, the more you'll get comfortable with it. And if you get stuck on something, again, Google is probably your best source. And between Google and YouTube videos, you'll get through whatever you want in Excel. And if you have a question, like specifically, like for embedded and link, if you type in what is the difference between embedded and link, it'll give you an answer. You know, you can go that, you know, phrase the question as what do you want to know, and they'll have, it'll be quite simply explained to you.
Okay, Stacy, when you just did that go-to search just now,
Yep.
what did you type in to do this search?
I just wrote go-to feature in Excel.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, you can Google pretty much anything you'd ever come up against. The only thing is occasionally you can get answers that aren't good ones,
Yeah.
but you'll know pretty quickly, because if you get an answer that's not very good and you're trying to use it and it's not working, then you know, okay, maybe I didn't get a good answer here. Let me try again.
And if you videos too,
Yeah.
you might have to play the video once or twice, yeah, a couple, more than once, to really kind of understand it. What can help you if you have the luxury of having two computers, where you can be playing the video and then doing it as you go along with it, it helps. And then also with YouTube, Lisa, you can stop in the middle of something and go off and do it, then come back to it and be right where you left off. And you can adjust what you're viewing, and let's say you get halfway through it, stop it, go back, rewind, watch it again. Very, very helpful.
Yeah, I'll usually do that on my phone and then just pause it, catch up, play it again.
Yeah. I wish the phone screen was a little bit bigger though. And sometimes when the phone screen, the format is just not the same as it is on a computer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to say that it was a pleasure. I enjoy working with you guys, and feel free anytime to wing Stacy a message, and you have a question. I try helping you the best I could.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Mary.
Oh, thanks.
Mary.
Yep. Thank you. And everybody, good luck in what you're doing.
Thank
I
you.
will
Safe,
send out
everybody.
the recording and the tips from Mary. They'll probably come to you late tonight or early tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stacy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night
You
now.
too.
Who?